Hi, everybody. Welcome to the very first episode of dAdZ A to Z. We're just two dads that think they know everything, but everybody else knows differently.
Every week we're gonna try to introduce a different topic and talk about it from our dad's point of view. We already recorded some of the pre-episodes, but this one's gonna be our first official, and not much to talk about from the parents' point of view, but we're gonna talk about why we wanted to do this.
What the heck we were thinking about?
Why two guys want to do this YouTube channel? And both of us had different reasons, and I want to touch a little bit on my own. Adam approached me a couple of months ago or a month ago or so, asking if what I thought about starting a podcast or a YouTube channel, and my first response was like, YouTube is not my thing. I was like, I like podcast idea, but YouTube is not my thing. And he kind of agreed on it, and we didn't really discuss it for a day or two. And he asked me why I'm hesitant, and I was starting to think about it. And to be honest, I'm 40, gonna be 42 years old this year.
He always has to think about it for some reason.
It's like, because it's like after 40, it just stop.
Doesn't
like,
matter.
I need to count, this is 2021, and I'm born in 79, so 42.
Go to Seinfeld, yada, yada, yada.
Yada, yada,
I'm
yada.
40, yada, yada, yada.
And I gotta say that I have everything going pretty well for me. I have a beautiful family. I have a wife and a daughter. My daughter is 5 years old. We moved, both my wife and I are immigrants, and we moved to the States about 10, 12 years ago. And I can't really complain about anything really. We had a good life here. It didn't start well like everybody moving here. We moved and lived with 6 other people in a roach infested house, but just 5 years after that, we just bought our first house, and I have a great job, and it's paid well, and working for a great company, and everything is going well. And I am in a position that I just want to be in what makes me comfortable. Mm-hmm. Hardly I go out of my comfort zone. It's just how the life is set. And when you asked me about a YouTube channel, it was absolutely uncomfortable. Me thinking about I'm going to be recording myself, and then listening to myself, and then watching myself. It's just
and other people watching
and
it.
Other
and
people,
what are you guys?
I'm still pretending nobody's watching, so it's fine. But it was comfortable / embarrassing. That was a basic feeling of it. I still feel right because we recorded 6-7 episodes. But what made me think this through was I was I think it's time that I start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And definitely working. So one thing was that I was I need to get out of my comfort zone. I have everything set up, everything is working well. I can't really complain about nothing, but I need to get out of and do something that makes me uncomfortable. And that was one of the things that I wanted to do.
Which I think is amazing. You take a plant and you put it in a pot. That plant grows so big. And it might be a nice plant, might be a beautiful plant, produce nice flowers. But once you put it in a bigger pot,
it grows more.
Bigger plant.
Yeah.
You put it in the ground, you get maybe a massive bush or a tree.
So, and this is just opening as you said, open all kind of different lanes of everything, and I felt like it would be a good idea for me. My selfish reasons would be to kind of grow more as a person and do stuff that I would never imagine doing, really. And I don't know, maybe I'm going to be a star in a couple of years. But but right now, that was the selfish reason. The other reasons why I thought it was a good idea is that between two of us, there's a lot of different experiences, and I felt like. Maybe some people are going to find this entertaining as well, but I felt like there should be, anything you do in your life has to serve some kind of purpose, and I felt like this would be probably a good platform to help others, if not be informative and educational. I'm not an expert in it, but I can learn about stuff and become an expert. But it's just a lot of people are just starting to become dads and parents, and I feel like they maybe this would be a good platform for them to learn about the real life and not what's in blogs and through all the filters and how blessed and wonderful life is, and it's quite opposite most of the times. So I felt like this was a good platform to share some knowledge, share some experiences, and if I can change one person's life and I can help one person with this, I think it would be a success.
And I think that's a good angle to take, because the differences in experience, the difference in the ages of our kids, and the differences in our viewers. Before the video, we were talking about my cousin, who's a new dad. I'm not sure how old your son is, Casey. I'm sorry. But he's not yet experienced something that's fresh to you, which is something I don't even remember anymore, you know? And so we've got people that are in the gamut. So I think it's very important for your angle at coming at this, that you have something to offer that I probably did it. And I go, oh yeah, I remember doing that. But someone like my cousin is going to go, really? So I think that's a great perspective.
So I feel like that would be it. And you know, like and we all get in different ruts throughout our lives, and it's, you know, like, and I got in that rat race, and I feel like, you know, I don't wanna. I'm not in a rut that I'm gonna quit my job and start something. Like, I'm really happy with everything else that's going on. I just feel like adding more purpose to it would probably be beneficial for everybody, and starting with myself. And I know that probably some of the things that we are doing here is going to be beneficial for you as well, and we're going to get into that in a bit. But that's about me. It's not a life-changing decision that I made and anything, but I feel like it's you know, it's good, and everything that goes with having a video channel is, you know, like learning all these new skills and how to do these things and how to do this editing, do that. I think it's a good skill to learn, and if I manage to learn something new every day, I think it's great, and we never stop learning, and I feel like it's a good opportunity.
Well, I think one thing you didn't touch on that was, I mean, I think it was kind of a mutual idea, was the community aspect of it.
Yes.
With helping somebody, it was important to Z was that, you know, we want to hopefully be entertaining, and there'll be days where maybe it's more haha and you know, less chin scratching, but we're really hoping that it becomes something that you guys talk to us, we're talking to you, you talk to each other, to kind of help and support and give perspective, ask a question. I mean, there's nothing that we can't talk about. I mean, one of my pitches to Z about this was when he said, well, what are we going to do? I said, there's nothing off the table. We can talk about whatever. It can be about getting your kids involved in sports. It can be about dealing with death in the family. It can be about a movie. It can be about video games. It can be about anything. It's our perspective, our reactions, if it's something that needs a reaction. And I'm not saying we're going and doing open boxes, oh, wow, look at this toy reaction, but reaction to things that...
Adams and Z's world.
Yes, kind of, but to open it up, to not just have it be, to have it be somewhere where you can go, hey, a perfect example, we were talking about education. My son is starting to get those letters to colleges, you know, come to our college. And I told Z, to him, his European perspective, that's crazy. They're sending you because it's a business here. They all say nonprofit, but
yeah, right.
they want their
tuition,
money.
The tuition says different,
and it'll be a whole different conversation when we get, you know, to that topic. But it was an eye opener for him to hear that this is what was happening and how we have to handle it, because he's not there yet and doesn't have the background, not familiar with it. I remember getting those letters, so it's hopefully a way that we aren't caught by surprise, where we can kind of offer a situation where you can ask somebody, and it might not be us. You know, we joke about the intro, and if you watch the last pre-episode, man, I botched that intro really well. But the whole concept is we don't know everything, and that's what I think is truly
I
genuine.
think it's a great thing. We don't, not that we don't know everything. We mostly know nothing, and like we just know what is based on our experiences. And I wish that I had a PhD in child development, but I don't. And but and it's probably good that maybe we'll get some feedback from such people as well, and get the input. But I feel like sometimes real life experiences are what matters, and everybody's living in a different world, and my wife and I were just talking to some people about it, and about just raising a kid. The saying takes a village. Well, in my wife's and I case, there's no village. Her and I are a village.
Right.
That's it. And just to put a perspective on how different experiences are, is that we would, last time we went on a date to watch a movie was watching Jurassic World in 2015, a day before my daughter was born. So, like everybody says, like, oh, we got parents having date nights and this and that. There's no date. We have nobody here for that. And that shapes the whole child caring experience when everything is just about a child. And there's no, and that my child is not the most social with strangers. So the like nannies and babysitters are out of question. So it and kind of shapes shapes our experience as parents. And then I'm a member of One and Done Club when it comes to having more kids, and that's probably one of the reasons why we decided we're not going to have any more, because it was so difficult. And I know some other people are going to be going through the same thing, and it's and I want to be there for them and say, hey, like it's going to be days that it sucks. But it's also going to be days that it is great, and people are more resilient than we think, and so I just want to give some different perspective, because I know that a lot of if you're from here, a lot of people, you have grandparents and uncles and aunts, and you can go have a date night, go to a movie, just like we just there was no such thing, and that shaped the whole parenting style we have, which ultimately led to we're going to have just one kid.
That's crazy that you had the forethought to do that. Some people wind up having a handful of kids before they realize, all right, I love the third one and all, but and everybody feels that way at the time, but to have the forethought to go, this, if we had more people around us, maybe this would be something that we can consider.
Yep.
And my wife and I have similar situation, but that's because I chose to move, over 1,000 miles away from my family to Central Florida, where we didn't have anybody.
So what made you?
Well, quick background, just because I like this story. It's an interesting story of how I got to know Z and his wife. We were living on the east side of Orlando, renting nice little community they have called Avalon Park. One of those areas where you're supposed to live and work and shop and everything in there. And we enjoyed it, but we were tired of paying rent. My kids were getting bigger. I also had promises that when we finally bought a house, that the son could get a dog and the daughter could get a cat. But we couldn't do that while renting. So we started looking for somewhere to buy, and my wife has a friend that lives in the next town over. So she started looking in this area, and we eventually settled in the town we're in. It's called Groveland in Florida. Most of it is just very farmy once you go past us, but nice little developing area, about 40 minutes west of Orlando. At that same time, I was in a Facebook group for the Orlando City Soccer, Orlando City Lions, and I think I just kind of floated out there that I was going to be moving to this county in this area, and somebody said, "Yeah, I live in that county." "Oh yeah, well I'm moving to Groveland." "Yeah, I live in Groveland. Like, what are the odds?" So I said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to be over by South Lake High School. Do you know where that is?" "Yeah, matter of fact, I do." So I think we moved it to private message at that point.
Yeah.
And well, I'm moving to well, I'm not going to say it on the internet, but I moved to this particular subdivision, and we found out we're living in the same subdivision. And furthermore, about 10 houses down. So it was talking about takes a village. It wasn't a village yet, but it was the start of something. I was moving somewhere I didn't know anything about, but already kind of knew somebody. And they turned out being fantastic people, which, I mean, that's even a great little extra bonus.
Likewise.
Yeah, thank you. It's not something I would have expected. That was about 3.5 years ago. And then my life got complicated. I complicated it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Come from a restaurant bar background. And this is where it gets tough to talk about. In that restaurant bar background, there's a lot of stress. And it's typical to blow off that steam after work. A good example, and anybody that's been in my industry will tell you to watch the movie Waiting. Not the second one. The second one is trash. The first movie, Waiting. Ryan Reynolds, Justin Long, Anna Faris, David Koechner. It is a parody, but it is spot on what it's like to work in most restaurants. And part of that was the pressure cooker, getting through it, barking at one another during the shift, and at the end, everybody goes and parties out, relax, blows off steam. Well, I started in the restaurant business at the age of 16. Couldn't wait to get into it. And then now I'm 47. And I really got out of it 2013. But still, that was a long time. It's 2020 now, in case this gets really far in the future. 2021. Wow, see, I'm already addled my brain. But that lifestyle became my lifestyle, which made it very difficult for the personal life as well, because it spilled over. What made matters worse is the high intensity of being in that industry in New Jersey gave me an advantage I didn't know I was going to have coming to Central Florida, where people were a little bit more passive. Someone with a Northeast mentality down here can really kind of dig in and make a difference and make change. And I did, and I was very successful at it. Won awards, particularly, most of my career was in the kitchen, but I won an award for Bar Manager of the Year for a chain, and was on the Southeast Beverage Commission, or committee. Was running a tournament, it was flair bartending, just to give you any idea of what kind of restaurant I was working at. Was a rock star. So I already kind of have that party life, and now I'm the star. I'm getting taken places. I'm getting shown, being taken care of. And it became really more. Go out, have a couple drinks, and it just became if you're not working, you're drinking. Nothing big. Sometimes you get drunk. No big deal. Fast forward, I leave the restaurant industry, take a job where I work at home. Even before COVID, always worked at home. Part of moving to Groveland is there was a stagnation I hit. Maybe because I didn't have the excuse of the restaurant industry, that drinking became more and more prevalent.